We're Batman at 89.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Batman at 89, the podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and stand on the edge of the cavernous abyss that is Tim Burton's 1989 Batman film, 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
Hey, yo, I'm John Parker, and I won't keep doing this terrible WWF Razor Ramon impression any longer. I apologize.
That's what that was supposed to be?
Yeah, hey, yo. That's how he starts everything. Or did.
Hey, try harder, man. Try harder.
Jeez, you need to watch some more Razor Ramon here now. Come on. I'm the bad guy.
I thought it was just some sort of like generic gangster thing you're doing or something. Like, what's this? But anyway, as you might have heard there, we are once again joined by, for the final time this week, burlesque performer, comedian, and writer Audra Wolfmann.
They just can't get rid of me. They invited me over, and I won't leave.
We've tried. We've tried to cast her out. We're burning herbs and oils and things to try and exercise her, but it's not working.
It only increases my powers.
But today we're here to talk about minute 72 of Tim Burton's Batman. Minute 72 begins with Kim Basinger, Vicki Vale, stepping out of the Batmobile and looking around her. And it ends 1 minute later with Vicki Vale and Batman talking about chemicals and chemical concoctions and whatnot. So,
possibly a nefarious scheme or...
Yeah, so then we, continuing directly on from last minute, we get Vicki works her way out of the Batmobile. And again, we discover this business of, Batman says to her, be careful. Turns on this giant light switch that he's got. And then, it turns out that he's precariously parked over a giant ravine. That's,
Yeah, that made me think of the Death Star with the giant drops and no rails or anything. Like, what? Why? Why would you ever do this? I know it's a cave, but put some kind of safety measures in there. Jesus Christ. Especially because he's going to
have a lot of kids coming over or anything.
Well, true. But, he might come back from a fight. He's wounded. He's stumbling around, and he'll just, fall right off the edge.
Right, if he's a little tipsy, had a few.
Yeah. Well, he could. We were wondering whether he drank or not. That was a big thing earlier on, actually, because... in some iterations of Batman, he does drink, and in others, he very much doesn't.
In the party scene, do we see him drinking champagne?
He does. He takes he downs it when he's kind of mustering his courage after he's first met Vicki, and he's just staring at her, and then he takes a big gulp of it and stamps it. He puts it down the table, and then Alfred has to swoop in and collect.
That's right.
And
he
later on,
appeared to have a drink with Vicki later, didn't he?
Yeah, he had the power move of. He poured her a drink and then drank out of that glass himself, which was like some kind of weird, macho head games he was playing there. But
well, as we've established, he's not the best, let's say, lover. He goes out of his way to just be nasty to her, to belittle her, and we've said before, they spend the night together, and then he just tries to get rid of her and kick her out of the house as fast as he can. It's terrible.
Yeah, I was pissed for her.
Yeah. I'd never really noticed it so much until we did the show. Like, just watching the movie, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, he's got Batman stuff to do. But when you watch it minute by minute, you're like, what? Hang on. You don't do that to anybody.
Yeah.
Particularly this as well now. He's, beyond his be careful, he's, again, parked on the edge of this huge ravine that, like, again, this is up there with his, I'm going to step in front of the car and get it to stop just to look cool. And now it's like, I parked my car right in the edge of a cliff for no reason, but it looks kind of cool, right?
Well, yeah, that's how dangerous I am. Look at me.
Yeah, danger's my middle name, baby.
Well, it must be because this switch thing that he pulls, this lever, like, what the hell? Sparks shoot out of it. That can't be right. That's not good. Has he done the wiring himself?
Probably.
Oh,
we made Alfred do it.
Yeah, I'm not calling anyone in, Alfred. It'll give the game away. You can do it, can't you? Yeah, fine.
And he's the way he sees the sparks. He's like, oh, damn it, Alfred.
I love the way as well, Vicki then, she says, bats, as if it's some kind of revelation.
Yeah.
I mean, he is Batman.
Yeah.
So,
It's,
But remember, she's got a thing for bats.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, she does.
Oh, she's like, oh, I'm kind of getting turned on. It's like, I didn't realize there was going to be bats in a cave.
Yeah, earlier in the movie, she says that, right? She says, "Oh, I'm just really interested."
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And it just had like the declaration of like bats. You almost imagine him being like, "Yeah, bats. Like, it's a cave. What do you want from me?" It's like,
What do you expect?
Why does he have that cage there to the left though? Because you see in a second, jumping ahead a few seconds. Oh, how dare I? You see that there are live bats like just flying around, free, loose. So what's this cage for?
it's got one in it. I think this is like the timeout step for a bat. This is like, all right, you're acting up. You go in the cage. It's like the naughty step for bats.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe it's to teach them to respect him and obey him. Every one of them has to take a turn in the cage.
But it is odd that there's just one in the cage. It's like, what's the point of it? Maybe he thought like, oh, if the bats aren't there, maybe they won't be nearby, so she won't see them. It's like, I'll have a bat in a cage prepared to be like, that's right, I'm into bats too, in case you...
But that's the one really, really dangerous bat. It's like his attack bat.
Yeah, vicious.
Yeah.
Evil vampire.
It's his self-defense bat, and he just takes it out when he needs it.
Oh, now I want to see Batman on the streets of Gotham with a bat on his shoulder, a bit like a parrot, and he can command it. He can attack, and it'll just fly at people's faces.
It gets stuck in their hair. That's basically all it does.
Well, the one time I've been into a bat cave, that was what I was terrified about. I had hair at the time. I'm getting old now. I'm losing a lot of it. But I had hair, and every time they flew past me, I was just like, no, they're in my hair.
Right.
They probably were nowhere near me.
Did they really do that?
Yeah, I doubt it. I had big, spiky, gelled punk hair. I don't think they want to go near that, to be honest.
Not the kind of hair they're into.
No, well, maybe they like eating hair gel. I don't know. That could be tasty stuff. It was a fruit scented one, so yeah, could attract the bats. That was my fatal mistake there, my flaw.
Right.
As we're saying though, he has his little comment of like they're great survivors, which is like random generic fact to come out with. It's kind of
I looked into that. I tried to research it, and there wasn't anything specific, but something that did intrigue me. I was surprised to see a stat from let me get this right, Tryon Creek State National Area, which is an organization, and they claim that 25% of all mammals are bats. I just thought that was interesting little fact I found there.
That would have been great if that's what she was like, bats, and he's just like 25% of all mammals are bats, and just walked away. He's like,
well, that's
that includes humans as well.
Yeah,
imagine, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so all the of all the different species, like there's more. 25% of all of the different types of mammals are types of bats, which was insane. I thought, because I just thought it's probably about 3. I don't know, and that does tie in, I suppose, because that could back up that they're great survivors because they've done well, they've spread, they've evolved and changed.
Oh yeah. Well, I guess so. Like it's. I'm not gonna doubt Batman when he says bats are great survivors. Maybe that's why this one's in a cage. Like he's been experimenting to see how he can kill it, and he's just like,
oh, he wouldn't do that.
Like,
gassing it.
Yeah, it's been like dumping it in water and like leaving it for a couple of minutes and coming back up. It's like, nope, still going.
The bat's just like, you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Waterboarding a bat. What the hell? Well, maybe that's his kink. I don't know.
That could be. You never know. But anyway, this is actually, big moment for us as well, because this is the first reveal. Well, I mean, technically, we got a hint of the Batcave way back when. But this is our first big shot of the Batcave itself.
Oh, yeah. I bet Burton was creaming himself over this chance.
Yeah.
I mean, this is his heaven.
Getting to do this thing, what I'm assuming is a giant matte painting beyond the Batmobile. Like that.
Yeah.
No, it's actually Tim Burton's living room.
I could believe that.
He just shot at his house. Yeah.
That's why when he was with Helena, she had her own house. She's like, Tim, I love you, but I can't live in this. This is terrible.
It smells like guano. I just got to get out of here.
But I thought I'd go just a little, as is our wont, a little tidbit about the origins of the Batcave, at least in its publication history. Because, originally, I found it funny to see that, like, know that the original Batcave was only a tunnel between Wayne Manor and a, quote, dusty old barn that held the Batmobile. I was like, why? How do you know it was dusty? Like, what was... It's a comic book. How can you tell? But they actually have to keep constantly saying it's pretty dusty in this barn, guys. So.
Yeah, how do you draw dust in a comic? That's intriguing.
Yeah, and then it was actually in 1943 when the first Batman movie serial which actually had Lewis Wilson playing the first on-screen Batman, introduced in its second episode, The Bat's Cave, introduced the concept of he has an underground lair that you get in an entrance via a grandfather clock, which is it's sort of one of the classic things. I did also know too that just so you can tell, 1943, what kind of era it was, that the villain of the serial was Dr. Daka, an agent of the Japanese Imperial Government. So,
okay.
Oops.
And also,
I imagine it wasn't a sensitive portrayal either.
No, almost definitely not. Yeah. And also notable that it had William Austin's Alfred, who is the basis of because at that point in the comics, Alfred was quite a portly gent without a mustache, and then William Austin played him. And it was so popular that they kind of changed Alfred into the trim, mustachioed figure you still see today. So, but then after this was in the serial, Bob Kane mentioned it to Bill Finger, who was working on Batman Dailies, a little comic strip. And in October 29th, 1943, one came out called The Batcave, where they actually showed you it was apparently a small alcove with a desk and a bunch of filing cabinets.
Just one desk.
Yeah. And then
actually, I've seen somewhere like that once. I once went to an embassy that was literally just a tiny hut with a desk in it. And so basically, the Batcave is modelled on the Islamabad, Pakistan based Embassy of the Holy See.
Oh.
Which may have changed since I saw it, but that's what it was, a desk.
Oh man, I'll take that. Yep, that sounds perfectly cool to me. But and then eventually it makes it in comic canon debut in Detective Comics 83 in January of 1944. And one thing I thought, you don't really see it that much these days, is that it had the bat symbol carved into stone in the background with a little candle in the center. I was like, that's pretty cool. Why isn't that a thing? Why don't we see that often? That's just I can't recall any films having that element of like
an altar.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, kind of.
Worshipping the bat, sacrificing to the great bat.
Yeah.
All hail.
Yeah, so I just thought that's how it started off in its actual publication history. We might get into its story history in later minutes because we'd be spending some time in the Batcave down the line. So yeah.
When I tried researching the Batcave, I got distracted because of the old London goth club, the Batcave. So I just started reading about the Batcave and watching videos, and then I realized, oh wait, we need to do the show.
You're like, I'll go watch these Bauhaus videos later.
Yeah, it's always a good time to watch a Bauhaus video. Agreed.
Anywho, then we get Batman's leading Vicki through the cave. We do see he's got these pipes that are sort of water's leaking out of them, and you can hear a little trickle.
Yeah, great, nice place.
But the thing is, that'll drive me crazy. That's borderline, the Chinese water torture. It's just the whole time you're there, you're gonna be hearing that trickling, just like.
Well, I had a leak in my house the other week, and it was like that. You could just keep hearing it even after you'd solved the problem because it was under the floorboards or something, trickling through the walls. You're like,
Telltale heart.
Damn it! Yeah. Oh my God, it was like that. Exactly. I'm going to rewrite that, but from my perspective.
With a leaky pipe.
It's there's no murder or any
no
indication of guilt this time. It's just no, it's a guy who just gets really annoyed by that leaking pipe.
It's the horror of homeowning, probably.
That's what that original was about, right? I mean, there was none of that. Yeah. That other stuff was just fluff. That was just to add to it and pad out the story.
Just some that happened, and then it becomes oh God, now I've got this problem with the floor. I got to fix it.
Yeah, we know the truth about these tales. We're onto these.
It's borderline It's like the house that dripped blood on Alex, like the Tommy Wiseau film.
I don't know if film is the right word for that.
Well, yeah, thing.
Video that exists.
Yeah, that's like the house that dripped on John.
No.
It's just like, oh, it's so inconvenient, guys. Although, in thinking, I think I might be able to do everything's connected, and that's
hashtag everything's connected.
House that dripped blood on Alex shares a name with the house that dripped blood, which had what do you call him? John Pertwee, who was from Doctor Who, but his son Sean Pertwee plays Alfred in Gotham.
Hey, everything's connected. Crazy.
I've got another one of those coming up in a minute.
So we'll move on so we can get to it then. I do like as they walk through and then they get to the computer. Batman has, at first this confused me, because Batman has on the desk a collection of cosmetics. And I, even doing this show, didn't put two and two together and realize why they were there. I just thought, he's got Vicki some supplies. He's got some makeup, he's got some mouthwash, which is, again, a bit of a bad message to be sending, was what I thought. Like, he's telling her to, get herself clean for him. That's awful. But then I was like, oh, wait a minute. He's doing experiments on the cosmetics.
Yeah, that's right, though. You notice that he flicks on the computer. He has the same pictures multiple times on different screens for some reason. So he's got one of them is Candy Walker, one of the supermodels who died. She's in the top right. And then she's also in a little mini one down in the bottom left.
Yeah.
And then he's got pictures of, like, presumably his mouthwash or something. And then that's a little bit beneath Candy Walker. And then it's a little bit above her down on the other side. It's like, why do you need the same picture up so many times, man? What's it like? I just like that every angle I look, I like to be seeing the same thing, except when I'm looking directly forward at all these lines of information that I've got.
It's because technology. It's because he can. I mean, basically, it's like a guy bringing you back to his awesome place and showing you all his electronics. And this bitchin' entertainment system.
Putting his black light on, Now I want a black light, though.
Easily done.
I'm on eBay now. I'm purchasing some.
But you got to get the art that goes with it. All the groovy, naked lady art that goes with it.
Oh, yeah. That's very classy. It's very stylish.
Yeah. Oh, it is. Yeah.
But yeah, at this point here, we get... he starts explaining things to Vicki, and she sneaks up behind him. And still trying to look at his face. Still trying to get a little peek here.
Not subtle.
Yeah, not subtle at all, actually. But I did note that this looked very similar, and the whole thing of him leading her through the cave really reminded me of the Phantom of the Opera, where the Phantom brings I can't remember what you call the woman, but the woman in Phantom of the Opera leads her through. And then I remembered way back when, particularly because this shot here, it's set up the same exact way of when in the Lon Chaney version, who of course played the Wolfman, which we mentioned in the last episode. So
you're making connections.
Yeah. And the 1925 version that has a famous shot that they spoof it in Gremlins 2 and everything, where like she comes up behind him, rips the mask off, but it's framed in the same way.
Yeah.
And,
that can't be a coincidence.
Yeah, because then I've got a quote from Tim Burton himself talking about Batman. And he says, he's a classic character, someone who puts on a costume, very Phantom of the Opera. But instead of hiding physical scars, he's hiding emotional scars.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like 6 feet deep.
And then apparently it was noted that, there was a lot of, because there was a writer's strike and whatnot going on when this has been filmed. So apparently John Peters himself claims that he wrote the final act and whatnot. But it's been noted as well that Peters and Jack Nicholson went to see Phantom of the Opera when during filming, and some say that this actually inspired the ending of this film. And then
okay, I could see that happening. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a quote from Robert Wool saying, "Oh, good thing they didn't go to see Les Miserables," which is
And what's wrong with that?
I think it's because at the end of Les Miserables, like everyone dies. So I think that's what he's getting at. But
what if they went and saw Spider-Man instead?
But yeah, so it's just I thought that there's a little again because we had allusions to Dracula through all the vampire stuff, and we had potential musical allusion to the Wolfman, and now we're getting distinct visual representation with Phantom of the Opera. So
yeah. Although, aren't we all hiding emotional scars?
Yeah, indeed. And of course, another little bit of everything's connected is that famously the Jared Butler version of the Phantom of the Opera that came out a few years back was directed by Joel Schumacher. So there you go.
Who we will get to his Batman eventually.
Yeah, of
but
course.
you've blown my mind that Gerard Butler is in that.
Oh,
what?
Apparently, it's a very contentious issue. It's not well regarded, the adaptation, and a lot of people absolutely despise him in it. Like apparently he's awful, and it's just he can't sing, he doesn't look the part or anything. It's just like apparently it's a massive misstep according to Phantom of the Opera fans. So.
Well,
Wow.
You know who is good, right? Here, Michael Keaton, his Batman voice.
Yeah.
It's deeper and disguised, but it's not stupid. As we've said before with the Christian Bale one, love the movies, but that voice can get insane. It's like, ugh.
Yeah, because the thing is, in Batman Begins, he does have a decent enough, like, we need to get this up. It's a little raspier version of his Bruce Wayne voice. And it seems to be then he does that one scene of like, where were the other drugs going? And then from that, he went with The Dark Knight. He's just like, that's my voice the whole time now, for whatever reason. It's all the whole time.
Yeah, but it's not a series known for its sensible voices, because, of course, we've got Bane all the way through.
They say what you will. I enjoyed the hell out of that Bane voice. It gets so much entertainment out of it. So
it was certainly unique. I'll give him that. But he just does that voice in everything. I watched Dunkirk, and he's doing the voice, and he's got a mask on for most of the film as well. So it's like, oh, Bane is in World War II. Okay.
I think it's like because a lot of people are waiting with bated breath. It's like he's playing Venom now. You can't give Venom a stupid Bane voice. What's he gonna do? It's like
he will. He's gonna give him a stupid voice.
He'll find a way to give him a silly voice. Because I remember even when I was living with one of our friends, and he was watching Peaky Blinders, which is the thing with Cillian Murphy, Batman, obviously there as well. And through the door, I hadn't watched it myself. And at one point though, I heard a really like kind of really silly voice. I was like, that's Tom Hardy. Just like I could tell it was him because it's like there's a really weird version of a Cockney accent that's a bit too silly. That's definitely Tom Hardy. And I asked him later, and he's like, "Yeah, that was him." So,
yay, on the money.
In terms of physical action for the minute, though, I think I'm noted out. Unless if you guys got anything else you want to talk about here,
I've got one thing because I believe we mentioned this at the start of the podcast. But, that was a very long time ago now for all concerned. But it seems like a lifetime.
I don't even remember. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I just woke up here in the middle of this.
That's generally how it works. It's fine. But in the original draft of the script, Batman explains how his body armor is better than Kevlar. And Vicki points out that, it doesn't protect his head. And Batman, he comes back with, that's why I wear a target on my chest.
Yeah.
Which, that's the symbol. It's very clever. It's literally meant to draw focus and attention to that area. So you'll hit there, you'll shoot there, things like that.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that it's in Dark Knight Returns. They kind of mentioned the whole, the chest symbol in what do you call it? Yeah, a target, basically. But that kind of thing always just makes me think, though, of like, in Dumb and Dumber at the end when he's like reveals that Jeff Daniels has got the bulletproof vest on, and it's just like, well, what if he shot you in the face? It's like, yeah, what if he shot me in the face? Oh, we didn't, well, luckily that didn't happen. It's like,
yeah, thank God.
So it could have been just like, Vicki Vale's like, what if they shoot you in the face? He's like, well, I just have to hope that they don't.
Hope it ricochets off the ear or something. That looks like some tough rubber. I think it might be okay.
Is the headpiece bulletproof as well?
No, I don't think it is it? It's just very thick.
Yeah.
So it might protect him somewhat, but if a couple of bullets come at him, I think he's going down.
I think like your modern Batman, it will be like it's all helmet and it's all got like all electronics throughout it, so he can speak to people and see with his detective vision and all that. I think there's a bit in the whole big fight in the warehouse at the end of Batman versus Superman, where like a guy literally comes up and shoots him in the back of the head, and it's just like all it does is kind of go like because it's just like it's so well protected it doesn't get in, but it annoys him because someone's just fired a gun at his head. But
yeah, that would be a little annoying,
slightly irritating.
Yeah.
But this Batman, he's just in sexy rubber there, isn't he?
But it doesn't have the nipples.
Oh, no.
We're not there yet.
Sadly not. I mean, I know people are harsh on the nipples, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
But, if that's your thing, cool.
just in general,
But,
people are harsh on nipples.
People are harsh on nipples all the time. Perfectly fine. But I love him on the Batsuit because of all these years of hilarity they've now given us. The next Batman, I want to see nipple clamps on the nipples.
Right. They're pierced.
Yeah, have little rings and everything.
This has got like another little bat symbol dangling off them.
Totally. Very modern Batman.
Yeah, I could get on board with that. That'd be pretty cool.
And we'll call it Bat Person.
Yeah. Well, you've got to, haven't you? Yeah. Especially that would actually help if he could just be the Bat anyway.
It's true.
Because he doesn't want to present as a human being. So putting man in the name, although he doesn't, he does call himself Batman sometimes actually. So yeah, he's identifying as a human being. He should be identifying himself just as a genderless, sexless, specieshless kind of creature. I don't know, like a ghost or something.
He still wants to get laid, though. He's just like, well, gotta let people know that I'm not just Batman, I'm all man. I'm still packing underneath all the rubber, baby. That kind of.
Right. It's not all anatomically bad.
Well, I'm not sure what a bat penis would look like, to be honest. So
You don't want to know.
I kind of do. I kind of want to Google it.
Do it right now.
Let's see. I'll do this on the air.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it too.
No, I advise
exciting?
not doing so. I very much advise not doing so.
Oh, too late.
No, pull out, so to speak.
Oh God. Is that even real?
I don't know, but someone has photoshopped Michael Keaton's Batman's face onto one of them. So not onto the penis,
I see it.
but
yeah. Wow.
I
Okay.
think it might be real. Oh, jeez.
Look away.
Moving swiftly on.
And closed. All right.
But seeing it is your last episode for this film, at least, Audra, we can open up the floor to you, and you can tell us about your personal feelings about this film in particular, and just your history with it. Like, when did you first see it, and was it a big thing for you? Are you just not that fussed by it, or?
I saw it in the theater and I liked it, but I wasn't really that excited about Batman until the second movie.
Oh,
Like that one really caught my attention, and I think it was like, of course it was Catwoman,
Hey.
but also probably my age. It was the right time, and Susie Sue was in the soundtrack, and it was like all
Great
the
song.
stars aligned. Yeah, oh, beautiful, and all these things worked out for the second one, and the Batman '89 is good, but it's it wouldn't be the one I remember like when I think of the franchise.
Quite a lot of people have said that, actually. Like, everyone enjoys this movie and really likes it, but I'm happy because it's my favorite one. Loads of the guests have said, oh yeah, Batman Returns is better. I love Batman Returns. Even though it's less of a Batman movie and more of a Tim Burton one, I am on board.
Yeah.
And plus, Danny DeVito's sexy.
but what about
Of course.
you're saying Susie Sue over Prince as well? Like, you're really drawing a line in the sand here and claiming your loyalties right now.
I was pretty late in appreciating Prince. I'll be honest.
Oh,
same here.
I had to get to a point where I understood how good his music was. The image didn't really speak to me as a kid, the way that, like, say, Susie Sue did, or other darker forms of music.
Yeah, I don't think I really.
But now I get he's a genius.
I got into Prince until I was probably in my maybe mid-20s. I'm 31 now. I mean, that's ridiculous. But Yeah, I think because I was into punk rock and things like that, I just assumed, Prince, he's a pop star or something. He just does pop music, which is completely wrong. Obviously, when you get into Prince and listen to him, he can do everything. He does every genre and stuff. But back then, it's like, no, I'm not listening to him. I'm listening to my Susie Sue. So, well, I still do to this day. Obviously, I've got Susie records right behind me, but Prince is alongside them now.
Yeah.
But also, so I take it then though, like where would you rank, the Keaton Batman in the list of Batman films? Like, you consider him to be, Michael Keaton is Batman, or obviously you've alluded to the fact that you do a Yvonne Craig Batgirl burlesque act. So is it very much you like, no, you're Adam West is the tip top, or what's your deal?
I like Adam West. Adam West is first, and Keaton is second.
Well, I mean, second comes right after first, I guess. Is that
how that works? Yeah, I guess that's how.
Controversial though. You're gonna have to leave now. I'm sorry. We'll have someone escort
Seriously,
you.
man.
Does that mean though that you have like a loyalty to Clooney as well? You're like, yeah, I'm into the Clooney Batman. Why not?
No.
Except the nips. Or is that? Oh, no, wait, no. Has he got the nipples? I'm trying to think. Which one's?
No.
That's.
He does have the nipples.
Oh, it is him. Yeah, I thought it was, and then I thought for a minute it was Val. No, it is him, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, Val does. He has them as well. It's the end of Batman Forever. The nipples make their first appearance.
That's why I'm getting confused. It's both of them.
Yeah. They're a constant presence throughout Batman and Robin then. So.
Which is awkward.
Is there anything else you'd like to, just about Batman in general? Anything you want to, anything you want to pontificate or get off your chest or anything? Or
I just think it's great that you guys are doing the original Batman, because I think this movie does get a little forgotten.
It does, definitely.
And it's great. It's a lot of fun. And it holds up. It's still good, and the acting is still compelling.
Yeah, we were really won over by Kim Basinger, actually, because we assumed, she's not really much of an actress before we went into this. But she's been on form in almost all of these scenes. She's been really going for it.
No, she's an excellent actress, I think.
It's a pity now that she's been relegated to 50 Shades Darker and whatnot. But
yeah, now she's like the sexy older lady, and that's going to be her thing now. But she's got work.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad thing to be either. So
no. I'm not a fan of 50 Shades though, because give me Secretary any day. I'm watching that.
That's a really good movie.
It's one of my favorites. People always think I'm weird when I say this, but I think it's one of the most romantic films out there, because it is about romance and love, really. That's the heart of it.
They both want the same thing.
Exactly. But when you say that to people, they're like, what? You're crazy. It's like, watch the damn movie. Pay attention.
Yeah. And it's handled far more intelligently than the 50 Shades of whatever.
Yes.
Plus, again, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Batman, Dark Knight, Batman, it's all coming together.
Connections.
Everything.
Connections everywhere.
Well, before we go, where can our good listeners connect with you on the internet?
Check me out at audrawolfmann.net. Wolfman has 2 N's. And you can also find me on Facebook and Instagram and all the dumb stuff. And if you want to find out more about my Weird Al burlesque troupe, on Facebook it's Tight and Nerdy, the first and only Weird Al burlesque troupe.
I should hope the only. If someone rips that off, I'd be punching them. Come on.
We will come and get you.
Yes.
I was trying to think of other names for sexy Weird Al things, and I was just like White and Squirty, and it's like, that's a hideous thing.
Wow,
no,
dude.
Jeez. Although now I want to see...
That's a whole different genre.
Now I want to see a revenge movie starring you and the Weird Al burlesque group, where a kind of a Tarantino / Rodriguez-y violent film where you have to hunt down the other group and finish them off.
We will cut a bitch. No, man, it's great. Everyone should play. I think Weird Al's music is for everyone. It's such a universal appeal, and the humor is always good natured.
Yes, yeah, he's never nasty.
We'll try to be good natured too. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, most of it's about food anyway. So.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm sure we could all use a bite to eat. So we will let the good listeners go. If you want to talk to us as well, we are everywhere. We're on all of the damn things. Just look up Batminute 89. I can't be bothered going through it today. It's Friday. Everybody enjoy your Friday. But do review us on iTunes. That's very, very helpful to the show. It gets us out there, helps promote us. And join us again, because we will be back on Monday. We will have minute 73, and we will have a new guest. See you then.
Next time, Weird Science. Within his cavernous catacomb, our caped crusader turns chemist. But does he have a quick fix for the cacophonous clown's cataclysmic chemical campaign? Find out next week. Same bat pod, different bat minute.